Welcome to the Afro Anime Initiative, a place where Afrofuturism lives, where we cover everything in the realm of Afrofuturism from anime to whatever begins with Z. I'm your host, Darren Brady, along with
Paulina Guerriere, and I'm extra excited for this episode.
Yes, because today we're going to be covering a lot of stuff that's coming out of San Diego Comic-Con 2018, and also we're going to do a quick memorandum for a pioneer in the realm of animation. So let me start off by saying that on Thursday,
Take your time.
July 19th, 2018, Jon Schnepp passed away. Jon Schnepp is an icon. Jon Schnepp is director of Metalocalypse. He directed many music videos. He directed the Superman documentary, Whatever Happened to Superman. He wrote comic books. He hosted on YouTube for Collider and Collider Heroes and was on Screen Junkies. He was a beacon for all the sweaty nerds out there, especially some of us bigger giant ones like me. He was just a cool dude, and from all reports, one of the nicest people. And it was because of him I actually got into Collider, watching movie news, learning more about the business, which and helped inspire me to want to start this podcast with Paulina. And just his passing, it's just a big hit to the realm of geekdom. So I would just like for us to start off with a moment of silence. Thank you. And if you would like to support Jon Schnepp and his beautiful, lovely partner, Holly, you can go to GoFundMe.com/GetWellJohn Schnepp to help out with the funeral costs. We will link in the description box below. But once again, that's GoFundMe.com/GetWellJohn Schnepp. Holly, is there anything you'd like to add?
Well, to that, I just want to say that, just upon hearing the news, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I love many of his productions, predominantly Metalocalypse. I really, really enjoy the imagination of such an innovator, really. So, the passing of so many creative people in the past 2 years has been just quite a shock, don't you think?
It has. And someone once said, but it's about that time. We made it to the next millennium. Some of these people getting the extra 18 years, and it just sucks that it's all happening at one time again. And we've had this before. It seems so, it never hit the realm of geekdom like this before.
No, it hasn't. It really hasn't. And it's one of the very few deaths that really hit the geekdom really hard, other than Carrie Fisher's death. That was huge. That was huge. I mean, I kind of expected it at one point, but I was just hoping, like, no, just hold out, just hold out. But, a lot of these people, despite how young or how old they passed, I feel like they've already passed the torch to now a whole new younger generation of creators and innovators and really, really, really creative people, including myself and Darren. We're more than just people who are passionate about geekdom, about anime, and just all things comic books and stuff like that. We're also writers. We're also creators ourselves. So seeing these people creating the way they do, able to balance all other things in their lives with what they produce and show us and share with us their joy in just this media, it gives us a path, or it gives us a way to really move forward with what we want to do and how we want to share our creativity with the entire world.
Indeed. Indeed.
All right.
With that being said, in Jon Schnepp's memory, this is San Diego Comic-Con, and there are just a few things we would love to talk about. And if Jon was here, he would be excited to talk about them too. So let's get started. We're going to kick off with the announcement of the Invader Zim movie. The trailer dropped, and I was like, okay, all right. I wasn't a big fan of the series. I didn't watch it a lot as some other people of my generation and age. But when I saw this trailer, I'm like, okay, I got to go buy a movie ticket now.
Okay, so I'm trying, if you guys can't tell, my voice is shaking because I'm just so excited for Invader Zim. That is the show I grew up on. Just weird weird, just off-brand shows like Invader Zim or like Ren and Stimpy. Like seeing them come back just made my brain explode. I've been all over the whole. I'm so serious. Like I remember I was such a huge fan of Gurr, Zim's little really dumb android assistant who was dressed up like a
Yes.
little green dog. And I remember I had
Hmm.
like the T-shirt. I had like the wristband that says "I love tacos" with Gurr on it. I just remember my friends and I were just imitating his voice and just quoting Invader Zim every single day. Looking forward to watching Invader Zim every Friday night before Nickelodeon sign off in time for Nick at Night. I just remember all of that. So seeing that, there's going to be an Invader Zim movie, I'm not even mad. Like, I'm not even the type of person to go, oh my God, leave it alone. Like, no, I'm excited for this. I want this to
New
happen.
material.
Like,
12 years?
yes. Has it been 12 years since it ended?
I think it's been 12. Yeah.
Oh my God. And it wasn't even like, it didn't even have a proper ending. It was just canceled. Like, I remember it was just straight, it just ended. And I remember being so heartbroken when it ended. I'm like, what happened? Like, I remember sitting there, this poor kid me, just sitting in front of the TV waiting for Invaders to come back on. And it never comes back on for like a month. And then I learned that it was canceled. And I was just so mad. So mad.
Yeah, that was the age of Nickelodeon just shutting stuff down. I'm like,
Oh my
without seeing anything.
God. That it just,
Yeah.
I was just so sad. But my love for it just kept going, and this trailer, man, it just brought it back up, and I'm ready to fight anybody otherwise who says otherwise. Listen, this is my thing. This is gonna be my year. Listen.
Well, speaking of your year and super odd offshoot animated series, The Venture Brother returns for a seventh season,
Yes.
August 5th on Adult Swim.
Oh my
And
God.
man, oh man, I'm going to literally rewatch all six of the
Oh
first
man.
seasons before the first episode drops. I love rewatching that show because it is nothing but it's surrealism,
Mm-hmm.
superheroes, crime noir, and just Japanese anime all wrapped up in one and understandable. It's like, how?
Right. And the humor is it's so fantastic. Like, it's such a good influential show. Like, I remember back when I was in my ballet school, I had an older student who was just as like nerdy as the rest of us, and she, like, for Halloween, she dressed up as one of, oh crap, I forgot his name. Like, one of the followers of, like, she literally had the costume as the monarch. There we go.
One of the bees.
Yes. Oh my gosh, she had the costume like down to the last detail, and it was insane. It was so funny. Like, you could just tell off the bat like that she was a fan of that show. So
Yeah.
like, it was just season 7 for me was just long overdue. But
Yes.
I do need to rewatch the first 6 seasons as well, because I really especially enjoyed the humor. Like, it was just so funny, and Brock was my favorite. I loved him.
Brock is the man.
God, I loved him.
Brock is literally the man. Oh, and it also, one of the biggest things, it also blends in a lot of those old 70s,
Yes.
well, 80s, 70s cartoons that just sucked, but we
Yep.
thought were great as kids.
Uh-huh.
And it carries the weight of all that in one show, and it balances it all out.
Oh, definitely, especially like the old Batman series with Adam West.
Yes.
That's number 1.
Or Johnny Quest.
Yes.
It's Johnny Quest. It's
Oh my
like, oh my
God.
God, how do they take that and turn it into this? It's so surreal.
And it's great,
So
and it's
surreal.
creative. Like, it's that to me, like, that those are the things to be really, really excited for for the coming year. And I'm just really glad, like San Diego Comic-Con is just bringing in a lot of good, kind of sad news, but just a lot of really, really cool news for fans of all walks of life.
Yes. Yes. And speaking of, I guess, cool news, it depends on what fandom you're a part of. And I would be a part of this fandom, but tell you the truth, I'm honestly kind of tired of it. Disney announced
Oh Lord.
that for their new streaming service, The Clone Wars will return.
I don't know how I feel
And
about that.
That's the thing. I like the Clone Wars.
Mhm.
I love the Rebels, but I'm also like, can I please get something new?
Right.
Can we do something that's not in the same time period? Which, since I'm an OG Star Wars fan, I've been reading in Legends and just people fan fictions for like 30 years getting something else.
Oh my
Like you
god.
have billions of dollars behind it. There are other time periods to cover. And I understand, I know this is I think this is like a giant favor to Dave Filoni. Like, hey Dave, we love you. Please don't leave the company. We'll give you one more year to show you love the most. And he's like, thank you. But then he's turning around and also getting another show called Resistance. So I'm like, bruh, just do something new.
Oh my god. Oh
It's
my
a
god.
giant galaxy far away, and we seem to only stay within 10 planets. We need something
diversity,
else.
world building. Like there's world building for me. The reason why I love Star Trek. The heck.
Ooh,
What
they
is
gonna
wrong
get you
with
in the
me?
comments.
You know what? Yeah, flame me for it. It's okay. No, you know why I said that by accident? Because there's like this weird Star Trek versus Star Wars thing. It's like if you like Star Wars, then Star Trek people will come after you. If you like Star Trek, then Star Wars people, this, that, and the other. Like, listen, I'm more of a Star Wars person because the world building. There's so much potential world building. It's like the way they talk about the galaxy, the way they talk about the people involved in it. You would think that there's so much more to it. Because think about it. Yeah, just those 10 planets, like, okay, and we know I feel like it's just been beaten over the head over and over again. And while, like, there's more to the story, I also want to know, like, let's say one being, one former Jedi Master, like Luke, kind of moved away from all of that because, people of that area of that solar system don't get how the Force works, and they travel to other systems. I would love to see
Easy.
that.
Quick story.
Yeah.
Easy. Right there.
Yes.
Just do that.
What do you mean?
No, I'm saying that's a good story right there. Quick, easy. Get it done.
Oh, shit, yes. You're right.
It's a great story.
That is a great story.
I must go spread the Force. Mount. Go. Fly. Find new shit.
Okay.
But guess what? Guess what that is, though?
What?
That's Star Trek. Must explore strange
You
new
know
life.
what? You know what? You know what? You're right. You're right. Because it would be cool to see, like, how is the Force used or interpreted in other systems? Is it the same?
Which they did in the Legends. They started doing it in the Legends before Disney bought their stuff out.
Oh.
So it's like you just take those ideas, you own them now, and just give them to us on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
That's all we ask. But hey, it's their property now. You either like it or you go look at something else like Star Trek Discovery on CBS. But anyway, because I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm a bigger Star Trek fan because I got more of that than Star Wars.
True.
I watched Next Generation from day one, Deep Space Nine from day one, Voyager for a little bit.
I remember watching those too, but I forgot which ones I fell off.
More of that, but I love Star Wars. I love the spectacle of Star Wars.
Yes.
But I own more Star Wars merchandise, but I watch Star Trek more.
Right. I mean, it's kind of the best of both worlds because both Star Trek and Star Wars have their own, like, really, really creative take on how people, go to space, how they live in space. With Star Wars, you have literally war between people who take the Force as, for darkness, even though it's a lot more complex than that. And then you have those who try to use the Force for good, but then ultimately can corrupt them if they're not careful, this, that, and the other. And then you have Star Trek, and it's just primarily about exploration, and I'm all about that. Like, I really, really need to get back into Star Trek because I've been a long way off, and I used to love it as a kid. And also Battlestar Galactica, but we're not getting into that.
That's all right. Yeah, I think Star Trek is definitely more. Star Trek is more the human condition, and Star Wars is the princess in the castle.
Yeah.
So it's just two things coming from. I mean, it's the same thing coming from a different angle. Because there are definitely Star Trek episodes where it's Princess in the Castle, and definitely some of the stuff in Star Wars tries to get to the human condition.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they touched a lot on the human condition in Star Wars. That's what makes it so much fun to, at least explore. Granted, some storytellers are just not that good at telling the story. But anyways.
Yeah. Well, yeah, anyways, speaking of other streaming service, which I have no idea if I'm going to buy or not.
Oh, dear.
DC has finally released a trailer for Young Justice Season 3. And yes, I say this as soon as because that's how much it makes me feel.
Okay.
I've been waiting for this for so long. For so long.
Good.
But I'm a Marvel dude. I literally learned how to read by reading Marvel comics. I'm a Marvel guy. X-Men raised me, period. My godfather got me on a Batman. He gave me his collection when he passed away.
Wow.
but I'm a Marvel dude. But Young Justice made me realize just how good DC characters can be, and the fact they're bringing out the season 3 is continuing the story, the growth of these characters, and you're still gonna have the older characters. It's just on that DC streaming service, but I'm glad they finally announced it, and we have proof that it's in the works. New footage came out at Comic-Con today, and it was glorious.
Oh man, see that's that. I think that's the one thing I missed. So I
Yeah,
gotta.
the Young Justice trailer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's good because they do a nice recap
Mm-hmm.
of season 2, so you get the feels,
Yes.
and then they go right into but this is what we're doing right now. Bam, 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 bam. I don't think they've lost a step, and it's been 6 years, 6 years, I believe,
6 years
since it ended.
Jeez.
Right? Because remember, it stopped. No, has it been that long? It feels like it's been that long.
Maybe,
it might have been that long.
Maybe 4.
Four.
It
right.
might have been 4.
Because it just all of it got to Netflix only 2 years ago.
Yes.
Because it's been long since it's been on Netflix. So 2, yeah, 4.
Yeah, it's been about 4 years.
But it's such a long wait because it's something that, which is weird to say, because the story is they canceled it because it wasn't selling toys. But the thing is, DC toys sell. So I hope they figured out what was wrong with the Young Justice line and sell that stuff like on DC Direct or like with the service, since it's on the streaming service, sell merchandise so we can get more and more, because this is just a beautiful storyline,
right.
Young Justice.
I know. And I think it's always the whole thing with merchandise, with any show. I don't want to say that ruins it, but it's like, can y'all be creative with it though? Like, yes. I don't think, I feel like the show doesn't have to necessarily be so dependent on merchandise at this point. Because, I mean, for me, personally, I don't know about everybody else, but I don't need the toys, even though you still have a bigger audience with kids and people who enjoyed it when they were kids. But it's like, just let us enjoy the story. Let us watch the characters interact with each other. And if there happens to be merchandise, cool. Other than that, why?
No, it has to be merchandise so we can get the characters interacting with each other. Like I said, once again, shout out to Jon Schnepp. Learning more about the business, you need the merchandise because you can make money off the initial show, but the merchandise is what keeps the property going. Like
That's
everybody understands, movies make a lot of money, but then Marvel turns around and sells all them damn T-shirts and make just as much money.
That is true.
So you got to do the merchandise.
That is true. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Sometimes you look at something, it just gets to the point where it's like merchandise dependent. It's like, oh no. Yeah. But so what else? What else? What's
no. Speaking of merchandise dependent,
Lord.
Big news, and ladies and gentlemen, spoiler warning.
Oh shit!
Warning.
Spoiler.
Major spoilers from San Diego Comic-Con from the Voltron panel.
Oh my god!
Whew. If you're one of our regular listeners, you heard Paulina's podcast, our podcast featuring Paulina, covering season 6 of Voltron. I wasn't able to be on the episode, and my feelings almost mirror hers exactly.
Ugh.
And we get more confirmation that our theories were correct, that they kind of rushed the end of season 6 to move on to make more merchandise.
Yep.
Because the news out of San Diego Comic-Con, Paulina, you have the floor.
Oh my god. Okay. Let me breathe for a second, because in the back of my head, I was hoping this would happen, and it did in like the biggest way possible. We find out that one of the paladins, Takashi Shirogane, had a boyfriend before he left on the mission. He had a boyfriend. Guys. An Asian man with mental illness, PTSD, disability, disabled, one arm, and we also find out he was sick. He had a disease that pretty much was destroying his muscles. As I gathered, he's all of this, and he still manages to go into space. And how we find out, one of the creators, Lauren Montgomery, she says that Shiro and his then boyfriend Adam were together for a really long time. They used to be pilots. Together. They were together for so long. They eventually became a couple, and they were actually planning on getting married. Like, that's how deep it was.
Wow.
But they broke up because Adam wasn't having his boyfriend, his sick boyfriend, going on this dangerous mission. Like he just wasn't
And
having it.
that's the mission that kicks off Voltron.
Exactly. And then you also have like because they showed the first episode at the panel, and again like I usually avoid spoilers, but I was just like, you know what, I don't care. It's all in the just throw all caution in the wind. I just didn't care. I found out on Twitter randomly after I ran an errand today, and I had to be all over it. Finding that out, I had to stop dead in the street in the middle of the rain, just going, oh my god, we have a queer character on this show, and it's canon. It's freaking canon. And it's the leading character, the hero. And he wasn't gay coded at all. His sexuality was not at the forefront of his story, of the story,
And it's
period.
perfectly beautiful.
It is
And it's
beautiful.
perfectly beautiful because you have to realize that Netflix is now mainstream.
Yep.
This is a mainstream cartoon officially having a gay lead character and no stereotypes, no I can't think of the word, but it's just no discrimination. He's just the character, and
It's just beautiful. It's so
it's
beautiful.
beautiful.
It's like, and
I'm
the thing is,
just
it's like the whole that like you have the voice actor for Pidge, Bex Taylor Klaus. She also had a hand in this too. Like the writers of the show from the get go were like, yeah, no, Shiro's like this from the beginning. It was just that the way they rolled out the storyline, the way they rolled out different storylines due to schedule, and DreamWorks had the audacity to go to them and say, no, make them roommates instead. Make them roommates, not gay.
like I said, merchandise.
And I'm just like, yeah, you're right. It is merchandise. And then of course, you had one of the voice actors. She was like, no, nah, make him gay. Like, no, make him come out with this. And they did it in a way that the thing is, we learn about it in season 7, in the upcoming season, through a flashback. That's all I know so far. Through a flashback. So, and the thing is, we also get a different perspective on Keith's relationship with Shiro and how much deeper it goes, because Keith already knew about. Well, no, he didn't already know. Actually, at some point during the episode, Shiro reveals to Keith that he was sick, which was why the garrison was adamant on preventing Shiro from going on any mission. They already knew he was sick, but he still managed to be at the top of his class to the point where he was actually qualified. He was actually qualified for the mission, but they were just like, no, you're sick. You might die on this mission. And Shiro's like, no, I want to go to outer space. This has been my lifelong dream, and he did it. But
spoilers again. Technically, he did die on this mission.
Shush, 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 shush. I'm about to get there. Let me get there. Shush. Be quiet. Let me get there. So you guys got to understand that the relationship between Shiro and Keith is that much deeper. Like, you see why Keith is so dedicated to Shiro, because I don't want to say everybody gave up on Shiro, but it's like Keith was scared to lose Shiro because he knew he was going to die eventually. That's why Keith was so adamant on. They're like, no, I'm not going to lead Voltron. Nothing's going to happen to you, Shiro. You'll be fine. You'll be the leader of Voltron. Do not do this. Do not do this. But as we found out, he died anyway at the end of season 2. It's just the Black Lion kept his consciousness within her up until season 6.
And cloned.
And so, interestingly enough, there are a lot of theories circulating that either Shiro's clones still had the disease, or they've cloned him so many times that they finally, had a clone that did not have the disease, which was probably why they took his arm.
Yeah, the Gore-Tex to analyze the disease and everything.
Exactly. So it could be that Shiro's not even sick anymore. But we don't know that. We don't know that. And from the trailer, you see that, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's from Shiro thinking about, his past, thinking about, his ex-boyfriend / ex-fiance. Like, that's just kind of heartbreaking. And a lot of people also had issues with, Adam giving Shiro that ultimatum, like, oh, choose the mission or choose me. Because he literally says, I won't be waiting for you when you come back, if you come back from this mission. I'm like, whoa. But at the same time, it's understandable because you have a significant other who's going to die in a couple years. And, he chooses to go on this life or death, like, mission he may never come back from. And you want to spend those last few years with your dying boyfriend. but it's not to be. And of course, you're mad.
If Adam wanted to spend those last few years with Shiro, he should have got up, joined the garrison, and took a flight.
No. They were both in the garrison. I
didn't hear that part from the spoilers.
Oh, yeah. So he was both like, they were both in the garrison. Like he himself was a pilot too. So I guess he just wasn't qualified. I don't know. But again, we don't know all the details. We don't have everything.
I know. It's called speculation.
Yes.
I just want to rant and rave because I hate the fact the stories are coming out that DreamWorks didn't want them to do this, and it's all for merchandise.
Yeah.
I hated the way the last season ended, and I know the way it ended that way is because of merchandise. Mm-hmm. So now I just want to throw all caution to the wind and just make up as many stories I can before the season starts and then ruin them all.
Right.
Because of merchandise.
Oh, because of merchandise. Exactly. And the news that we get from the writers about Shiro's sexuality, about his past, it's like you know, for those of you who are already in the fandom or are entering the Voltron fandom, please be very careful about it because there's also been like a lot of discourse with shipping. It's a taboo subject for me because I will punch the nearest wall if I have to talk about it. So I will not. But just be aware.
Why you bring it up?
No, because I'm just saying. No. I'm just saying be aware because this stuff actually does come up, even in mainstream. It does come up. You know, there's always not just in this fandom. There's always something like this in every fandom. But I feel like this is like in recent years one of the absolute like worst when it comes to showing attention to that. So it's
Voltron is up there.
Oh, it's way up there. So I'm just this is all I'm saying. Just you know what, like for me, it's like I'm on the fence. I'm distancing myself away from the fandom and just doing what I can to enjoy the show and create my own content in response to it. If nobody likes it, oh well, I did it anyway. If you do, great. Just don't drag me to just any negativity at all whatsoever. Listen, any of the shows that we talk about, any of the shows that we consume and share with each other and watch, there's always something that we got to criticize about because that's just how we are. But at the same time, it's just there for us to enjoy and to fuel our imaginations. So just not even just this show, not even just Voltron, but any show we watch, any show you watch, just enjoy it. Don't shit on anybody else who enjoys it a different way than you do. Just take it in as you want to take it in and just have a good conversation about it. If somebody disagrees with you, be polite, have a debate. Debates are fun. But don't...
Right, and we'll be having... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, continue. What were you going to say?
And we'll be enjoying more Voltron and having more debates and more conversations and definitely more podcasts about it because the last 2 seasons, it appears, are going to be 13 episodes apiece.
Yep.
They're probably going to shut down this series again.
It is.
Guys. So we got 26. Yeah, I did that right.
Yeah, we have 26 episodes left.
14. Right, and we're just going to enjoy it. But like I said, we just want to give everybody a heads up. And like I said, it was just big news breaking out of San Diego Comic-Con.
Definitely. And real quick.
Go ahead.
Sorry, real quick. Another thing about Voltron spoilers is that, again, when they reach Earth, it's not going to be the same as they left. I'm pretty sure the Galra has reached Earth, led by Sendak, if I'm not mistaken. And there's going to be some pain there. Looking forward to that. So yes, like he said, there's going to be 13 episodes this upcoming August 10th, and then the very last 13 episodes of the entire series is going to be aired before the end of 2019.
There we go.
Yep. So
though.
What?
You got it? You got something else?
No, I'm good.
All right. So that is our just real quick hits about San Diego Comic-Con 2018. This has only been the first 48 hours. We got 48 hours more to go.
Oh my gosh.
Anything else comes up, we'll drop some videos for you, or we'll wait till next week's podcast.
We'll also be tweeting about it. I'm gonna go ham on Twitter with this stuff because this revived me.
Yeah. So follow Pauline if you want to go ham with her on Voltron. Follow Afro AI just for all our updates. And excuse me, guys, sorry.
That's okay.
But Afro AI for all the updates and definitely more stuff from Comic-Con and about Afrofuturism and how, just like it.
It's the wave now.
It's the wave. So join the initiative and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.